He's Bryan Cranston, known for Breaking Bad, Malcolm in the Middle, a lot of other movies, Broadway. He's done it all. He's on Broadway now with Network, and one of the great actors of our generation, or any generation for that matter. And he's done pretty well in the Bracket Challenge. Right now in fourth place, 7 points behind the legendary Jim Parsons in the lead. Bryan, good morning.
Jeez, is he legendary already?
Yes, he
is. He hasn't won yet.
Yes, he's Jim Parsons. I mean, he's a legendary actor.
Well, and a really good guy. But I can tell you something. You know, he's going to hear a big bang behind him, and that's going to be me in his rearview mirror.
Is this more of your?
I'm coming after you, Parsons.
Is this more of your focus than being on Broadway?
I don't even care about the show anymore. I got to win this damn thing. Now, Fritzy told me that I'm in fourth place and that Parsons currently in first place.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's two other people that I have to climb over before I conquer Parsons, right? Who are they?
Kevin Frazier from Entertainment Tonight.
Oh, yeah, I know Kevin.
And then we have we opened it up to fans. We allowed 5 fans to be in the Bracket Challenge. So one of our fans is in third place right now, and then it's you.
Oh, no, that doesn't count. Throw that guy out.
Okay.
Throw him out. Come on.
Would you rather win this or a Tony?
I have a Tony already, so I'm looking. By the way, DP, what is the actual prize? What am I going to receive?
Street cred.
Oh, come on!
Why do all of you actors need something? Jim Parsons said the same thing. He wants a trophy.
Because we're incredibly,
insecure,
needy. Yes, we're insecure and needy.
Paulie, I'm going to commission a trophy to be made. If you could make up a trophy,
we'll sketch it out.
All right, see what we can do. What was your game plan on filling out your brackets? You have North Carolina winning the championship over Michigan State.
I do. I think that's the two strongest teams. I looked a lot at their defense. I looked at who is holding the other team down. To me, that's always been the key. I also look at assists. What team passes that ball around a lot? Who is the scoring spread around? I mean, obviously, if you have a superstar on your team, you got to feed them. But that's what I look for. I look for those things that most people are not looking for, the splashy things. Huh. I go the other way. I think defense is one of the most important things. We all know that. What kind of athlete were you in high school? I was incredibly mediocre. Okay. I was okay. I could hold my own. I would play football and baseball and some basketball, but I just never put forth the effort. I didn't know that there was a work reward situation. So I would mess around during practices and things. And consequently, I would find myself either on the bench and then I get discouraged and then quit the team. And it was a bad time for me. I wouldn't relive my high school years for anything. He's Bryan Cranston, the actor, and the great Bracket Challenge entry here. Fourth right now behind the legendary Jim Parsons in our Celebrity Bracket Challenge. Oh, man, I'm getting so sick and tired of hearing that. What are you watching on TV now? Watching on TV? Aside from basketball. I don't really watch. Yeah, I watch basketball and watching sports. I mean, it's kind of a relief for me because I'm working on Broadway now. It's kind of demanding, so I get exhausted, and I don't want to go out too much. So I come home, and when my wife is around, I can't watch too much, because you have to spend time and engage. I've been married for 30 years. You know what it's like. So and that's great. But it's like when I really want to veg out, I just pop on some NBA. But oh man, I'm a LA homer, and my hockey team is doing terrible. My basketball team is doing terrible. It's like I'm waiting for baseball to start. And your Rams lost in the Super Bowl. And my Rams lost, yeah. Well, I know you guys were talking about what to do about that, the non-call in football, and I looked at that was a terrible call. I mean, I feel for Sean Payton, boy. That was a rough thing to accept, and I know that if I were a Saints fan, I'd be really upset about that. And I don't know what can happen now, but
nothing.
But one of the I don't know who it was Fritzy or McLovin or someone posted an idea that what if the coach can have one call to review a non-call, one flag that allows them per game to review a non-call, and then the coaches get together. They all, back in New York, they all look at the tape, and then they make a determination if there should have been a call. But you only get one per game, so you have to be very careful how you use it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. It feels like every play is going to be subject to review or the possibility of review, and I just don't know how much is too much and how much is not enough. And I think that's what the NFL, and plus with the whole gambling aspect here, Bryan, like these plays are even more important and the integrity even more important of getting it right than it used to be. So the stakes are extremely high for whatever rule they come up with here, or modification to this rule going into next season.
I'm surprised that you even brought up the fact that you're a degenerate gambler.
Used to be.
Have been bankrupt 3 times.
Used to be a degenerate gambler. Did you ever gamble on sports?
Yeah, I did, and I still do. I'll if I'm in Vegas, I'll go to the sports book and throw down a huge odds of something before a season and something like that. And sometimes I'll go to the racetrack and play some horses or something like that. It's just fun, but nothing. I can walk away from it. I don't have any addiction problem. I don't. I'm telling you, I don't.
When do you snap into character? When you get to Broadway, or even when you were doing Breaking Bad or Malcolm in the, whatever it is, like at what point do you all of a sudden become that character?
There's a process for every actor that you go through for your warm-up exercises. I walk to the theater. I get there early. I kind of settle into the theater, and you know how when you go to the gym, the moment you walk into the gym, your body starts reacting to it because it knows what's going to happen at that place. It's the same thing with going to the theater. My body starts knowing what I'm about to do for the next 2 hours on stage, and it kind of gets ready for it. And when you do it over and over and over again, you're conditioned. So it's almost like an athletic event in that sense that I know. We've done maybe 140 performances of Network so far on Broadway this year. And we will, when we finish, it'll be over 215 or so. But it is like that. And you put yourself through that, and an actor has to go through emotionally and physically, intellectually. And then you're hyped up. And then afterward, you start coming down off the energy of that. And like a sporting event, you then realize, oh, my arm hurt. I don't know. I did something to it, or my neck is stiff, or you don't know. And you go into the training room. And I go down and I ice it after a game. After I'm on stage, I go to the training room and ice down.
What happens if you forget a line?
And that happens. You're on stage with someone else who knows that if you forgot a line or messed up the line, and you try to cover for each other. It's a thing that there are no retakes on stage. You have to just go through it. And that's part of the excitement, that you can make a mistake. And I'll relate it back to a sporting event, on a field or a basketball court, you can and will make mistakes. And you just have to own it and figure out how to correct it. In our case, we have to do it. Is the mistake going to confuse the audience? Do we have to kind of restate something in order for them to catch up to it, or is it an acceptable pass and we could just move on? But I take umbrage with that remark, Dan, suggesting that I would make a mistake on stage.
I meant generically all of us actors. So
there you go.
It wasn't an indictment on you. I mean, I'm just saying us actors, us thespians.
I doubt the legendary Jim Parsons would ever make a mistake.
He's never made a mistake.
I'm so sick and tired of hearing that. I'm gonna. Oh God. Okay, I can't wait. I made. So far I'm in good shape. I thought that Wisconsin would actually be up there a little longer. I didn't know Purdue would come in so strong. I really didn't. I didn't. But I missed that one. They played really strong defense, and I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Tennessee.
How would Walter White be at filling out a bracket?
Well, it would all be about alchemy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He would just start putting different. He would make a gaseous Purdue play against a solid Tennessee. And it comes out a liquid. He would infuse chemistry with that. I don't know how good he would be. He was pretty much of an egghead, so I don't think he has any. I don't even know if he has any awareness of bracketology at all. But it's a science. And so he would be slightly interested in that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought this last night. I'm like, from a scientific perspective, that he was very analytical. Whereas, when you played Hal from Malcolm in the Middle, he was sort of oblivious to everything. So I don't know if Hal would have done better because he had no clue. Whereas Walter White might have thought, I'm smart enough to figure this out.
I think so.
I had a lot of time on my hands last night, by the way.
That's where you get into trouble. When you part of filling out a bracket is not to overthink it.
Yes.
I really believe that. I mean, if you break it down too far and get into the microcosm of all the ins and outs, I think you get yourself in trouble. And you have to allow some room for some upsets. Although this year, it's really there hasn't really been a Cinderella team, has there? Irvine winning that first round, but then they were knocked off. But no one's really carried on, surprisingly so.
No, it's been kind of void of if Central Florida had beaten Duke, then I think that would have, turned it upside down. Yeah.
Do you think it's less interesting because there hasn't been a Cinderella team jump up and catch everybody's surprise?
Yeah. I mean, we're used to one. Oregon, I guess you can say, is Cinderella, even though Oregon is a big-time sports program. But I don't know if we have that feel good, we're rooting for them, or that's a cute story. We sort of like chaos until we get to the Elite Eight, and then we want order restored there, just so you get a true national champion. But, we haven't had that, and it just feels like it's a little more predictable than normal. So, yeah. But it doesn't matter because right now, Jim Parsons, the legendary Jim Parsons, is dominating.
Oh,
by the way,
he's not dominating. He's slightly ahead.
7 points behind.
That's so I know. What has he predicted in this next round that I could look at to root against him and hit? I have a Jim Parsons voodoo doll that I can poke holes in. So I want to see if I can jam him up a little bit.
I'm going to get some of my best people on that. By the way, you're dominating Will Ferrell, if that matters. Will Ferrell is doing horribly.
It does. It doesn't matter. It does mean that. It does mean something to me. Thank you for that.
Okay. I appreciate it. Hey, keep your head up, all right?
I'll try.
And go see Bryan if you can on Broadway in Network. It's an incredible performance. Do you have a movie that you're going to be working on? What do you got coming up after this ends?
I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to shoot a film down in New Orleans, and I'm going to go hold Sean Payton's hand and commiserate with him. I'm going to shoot a film down there starting in September. And I know I'll go to some of the games. Sean's a Breaking Bad fan, and I was on the sidelines in that stadium, in the Superdome down there, and it was incredible. It was unbelievable to hear that noise on the sidelines. I had to yell to the person I was with in order to be heard.
Yep.
It's so incredible. It's really fun to see a game there, and I like the Saints. I really kind of do.
You should. Like them. Yeah, they didn't do anything to you. Yeah,
I do. No, I like them.
Yeah,
I do. And I like Breeze, and I'd love to see him finish strong. That'd be fun.
Well, congrats on being in fourth place behind the legendary Jim Parsons, and we wish you the best of luck throughout the tournament. And of course,
say that one more time. I'm going to crawl through this phone line and grab you by the throat.
Fourth place behind the legendary. You weren't kidding.
Okay, that's the end. Watch what happens in the next round here.
Thank you, Bryan. That's Bryan Cranston. He's in Network on Broadway. He takes this very, very seriously, but he's still trailing the legendary Jim Parsons.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.